Here's the thing about ChatGPT. Here's why OpenAI might just become the most valuable company in the world. First of all, they're the quickest company to reach a $500 billion valuation. Remember, 10, 15 years ago, there were zero $500 billion companies ever in the history of the world. Today, there's a handful of $1, 2, 3, 4, $5 trillion companies, like you could count them on one or two hands. OpenAI became a $500 billion company in the matter of 5 years. It took Google 20 years to do that. And here's why: because it knows everything about us. If you freak out about this, then delete your account. That's fine. But that's not why you're watching this. I want ChatGPT to know everything about me. That's why they have such low churn. People don't leave because it remembers everything you ask it across chats now. That wasn't possible a few months ago. So not only is it making this pitch deck in an optimized way, as good pitch decks should be, but it's also incorporating things that it knows about me personally, which is mind blowing. My social media footprint, everything. And I didn't even ask it to. If I would have asked it to do that, it probably would have put in a lot more personalized things. So let's look at the pitch deck. Okay, market opportunity and pain points, consumer complaint analysis, our solution, instant dissolve, no clumps, balanced taste. Now, it is pretty ugly if you're watching this. Competitive advantage, investment opportunity, join us. Still, it made a pitch deck from scratch. And I could say, here's what I could do. One of the most legendary pitch decks of all time was Airbnb's pitch deck. Here it is. So I'm going to download it and I'm going to go back to this chat window and I'm going to upload it. So I said, make the design more similar to the design of the attached pitch deck. Incorporate more personal stories and anecdotes about me personally that you either know from searching about me online or from our private chats, wherever relevant. All right, now if we look at the competitive landscape for texassnacks.com, let's see what it says. Amazon.com. It's right. It was kind of a trick question because Amazon is my biggest competitor, or at least third-party resellers on Amazon are my biggest competitors. I didn't lead it that way. I thought it was just going to find random Shopify stores that also compete against me, but it listed Amazon as number one. Okay. Walmart. Yep. Texas Bite Box. I'd never even heard of them. They claim to have shipped 16,000 products, served 13,000 customers. Okay, that's a lot. What they do well: clear merchandising and bundling, social proof, cross-platform promotion. Lessons for Texas Snacks: emphasize social proof on your site, use TikTok and Instagram more aggressively. That's true. We need to do that. Johnny's Goods, I know about them. Brad Catalog. Lessons for Texas Snacks: expand content marketing. And then Texas Nuggets, niche store with simple UX. It even judged the clean layout of their site. Additional competitors: small but noteworthy. Snacks for me. Wow, that is really, really good. Okay, so if I look at the dentist in Austin, it was not a complete bust. It did lose control of the browser, which was my fault because I was switching tabs and it wanted me to stay in the tab because it was in my Gmail. But if I go into my Gmail in a different tab and I look at my drafts, as I'm doing right here, look at this draft. Your pain-free dentistry deserves page 1 ranking. Now, I'm not a fan of that subject line. It's not one that I would write. It looks a little spammy. I doubt it gets opened by most people, but I do find it interesting that it wrote emails in the style that I've told ChatGPT to respond to me in, which is in quick bullet points. Hi, Dr. Gordon. I'm Chris, a business podcast host. You own Austin Lakes Dentistry. You graduated at the top of your class, yada, yada, yada. It's just like, I'm stalking you. I'm stalking you. I'm stalking you. Will you buy from me? But I could just click send. There was a little trial and error here. This one has the email, keep dentistry weird, and rank West Creek Dental number 1. I mean, should I just click send? I kind of want to click send. And it did the same thing here. It has the email, it has the subject line, it has the full body. Just incredible. Just incredible. I don't have to hire anyone to do my cold emails anymore. I just need to prompt it and then log in. I wonder how many emails it could send like this. And the magic is not in cold emailing, it's in all the research it's doing beforehand. There are tools like Apollo that do some of this, but it doesn't do it all in one place. Most importantly, once again, it doesn't know everything about me. It doesn't know how I write. It doesn't know how I usually like to pitch people. It doesn't know my approach. It's not built on a corpus of data over the last 2 years of using ChatGPT. ChatGPT is doing what Costco has done with Kirkland. They find best-selling products in their stores, and then they turn it into a Kirkland product and push them out. They vertically integrate. Amazon does the same thing with Amazon Basics. Wow, these batteries are crushing. Let's make Amazon batteries and sell them for 30% cheaper. That's what OpenAI is doing with all these features. So there's a ton of Chrome extensions, add-ons, plugins, apps that are all built on top of and or with and or integrated with OpenAI that are about to be made irrelevant one by one by one because OpenAI is slowly eating the internet. So video is cool, but you know what's better? Long form audio via podcast and my newsletter, tkopod.com. Go there to subscribe for free to my newsletter. It's one email a week, very tactical. And then go to my audio podcast, 3 episodes a week, stuff like this. You're going to love it. All free, no sleazy sales pitch, tkopod.com. If we check in on this powdered energy drink pitch deck, it's turning the famous, well-optimized, well-designed Airbnb pitch deck into my pitch deck. So I can keep those design elements, but use it for what I'm trying to do. If we check in on the Nashville plumbers, it kept glitching out on the Google Sheet because I kept navigating away from it. Once again, once you log into something, it wants you to stay on that screen. Now, I could have pulled the tab out and made it its own tab so it appears open on my Mac, but I didn't want to mess with that. So I said, instead, just turn it into a downloadable CSV of Nashville plumbers. Boom. And when I do that, I know you can't see it, so I'm going to paste it into a Google Sheet so I can share my tab and do that. All right, got it. This is pasted over from the CSV. Boom, look at that. Exactly 20 Nashville plumbers with their websites, their names, their phone numbers, and their emails. Holy crap. Now that one took a while. It took like a half hour and it glitched out a couple times, but it only glitched out because I needed it to log in. So there's a learning for you. The less you ask it to log in for now, the better, the more seamless and frictionless it will be for you. So to speed things up, I said I only need the new redesigned deck to have 5 beautiful slides patterned after the Airbnb one. All right, before we wrap this up by seeing the last pitch deck that it spits out based on Airbnbs, let's recap the 6 things that I've had this agent do at the same time. Number 1, look at my upcoming calendar appointments, do research on the people I'm meeting with, and prep me for the calls. It did that masterfully. I had to log in. I didn't need to babysit the browser as I did in Gmail and Google Sheets, and it worked perfectly and it worked fast. I'd give that a 9 out of 10. I also had it find 20 plumbers in Nashville, find their cell phone numbers, their emails, websites, and their business names, put it in a Google Sheet. It took a very long time for only 20 plumbers, which I wasn't pleased with. It glitched out in Google Sheets, which I wasn't pleased with, but it did get me the data in a CSV form. I'd give that a 6.5 out of 10. The next thing I asked it to do was find 5 dentists in Austin, look up a crazy amount of info about them. I don't know how it found all this stuff, and write 5 personalized cold emails. It did this pretty well. It did glitch out in my Gmail, which of course it's going to do that if it's inside my Gmail and I need to log in with 2-factor and all that. But it wrote the email and it would have sent them if it didn't glitched out. If I wouldn't have navigated away from the tab doing 1,000 things at once, it would have actually sent the emails. But I did write them. They were in my drafts. Almost all of them were ready to go. I'd give that one a 7.5 out of 10 because the difficulty level was quite a bit higher on that one. Now I asked it to do a competitive analysis for texassnacks.com. It did this masterfully. Deep research could have done something very similar. So this wasn't a big stretch for the agentic capabilities that just came out, but I was very impressed that it put Amazon and Walmart first because it was kind of a trick question that it passed with flying colors. And then it listed out one competitor that I'd never heard of that seems to be doing a pretty good job, and then a few competitors that I have heard of, so I was able to cross-reference all that. I'd give that one an 8.5 out of 10.